This is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Welcome to Lee Anderson's Real World. Tonight on the show we have former Labour MP and Minister Stephen Pound. He's going head-to-head with political commentator Reem Ibrahim. We've also got fitness guru and lifestyle expert Amanda Kello and former top cop from the Metropolitan Police Peter Bleksley. First, let's go to the news.
Good evening, it's 7 o'clock. I'm Katie Bowen in the GB newsroom. Swiss authorities say that the fire which killed 40 people at a ski bar in Crans, Montana, appears to have started from sparkler candles placed in champagne bottles. Authorities have given an update on the tragedy today, confirming 71 of the injured are Swiss nationals, 14 are French and 11 Italian. The death toll currently remains at 40, with at least 119 people injured. Photos emerged earlier today seeming to show the moment the ceiling of the Constellation bar set alight. Officials have described the fire as a tragedy for the whole of Europe. A former pupil of a British school has been identified as among the missing. Charlotte Nidham previously attended Emmanuel College in Hertfordshire. Most of the victims of the fire are thought to be young people, but identification of the bodies is expected to take several days. The driver of a car involved in the fatal car crash which injured boxer Anthony Joshua in Nigeria has been charged with dangerous driving. The Ogun State Police Command have released a statement saying that the driver of the Lexus SUV, 46-year-old Adeni Mobolaje Coyote, has been charged. Joshua has been discharged from hospital. The two men who died were his close friends and team members, Sina Gami and Latif Ayodele. President Donald Trump has told Iran that the US is locked and loaded and will intervene if Tehran kills any more anti-regime protesters. It comes as at least 6 people have been confirmed dead on the 5th day of spreading unrest across Iran. A severe economic crisis has sparked violent protests in cities across the country, the biggest protests in the last 3 years. Riot squads in Tehran have opened fire on demonstrators who pledged they won't back down. And snow has hit Britain, covering parts of London, Hertfordshire, Northamptonshire and Cambridgeshire. A yellow weather warning for snow and ice is in place for sections of the UK. Meanwhile, an amber snow warning for northern Scotland is also in place. Travel disruption is expected as the wintry weather moves southeastwards. Those are the latest GB News headlines. Now it's time for Lee Anderson's Real World.
Take the GB News family with you on any device. As long as you have an internet connection, tune into GB News anywhere on the planet or beyond.
Welcome to Lee Anderson's Real World. I'm Lee Anderson, the Reform UK Member of Parliament for Ashfield, and tonight on the show it's a New Year special. I've got political commentator Reem Ibrahim, just engaged as well. Is that true? Congratulations.
Right. Yes, thank you.
And you've been on a bit of a weight loss journey as well, haven't you, this year?
I have. I've lost 8 kilos this year, so I've really done my New Year's resolution.
Well done. And he's back, our left in the corner, fresh from the care home, Stephen Pound. He's just guzzling his beer like that. Look, welcome back, Steve. You're our left in the corner tonight, but tonight on the show, it's New Year, so we're going to talk about last year and the political highs and lows of 2025, Stephen. What was the high point for the Labour Party in 2025?
It's a bit chilly today, isn't it? Look, there's only really been one story politically in the last year, and that circulates around reform. I'm not saying that because you're opposite me and you're bigger than me, but it's reform, either the Runcorn by-election, which Reform won a seat from Labour, or the Senedd election in Wales, where people ganged up against Reform. So, in terms of highs for the Labour Party, one word: survival.
Survival. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? Is that right, Reem?
At least
Just
it exists.
18 months into a Labour government survival?
It's pretty awful, pretty abysmal. I think some of the most interesting political moments will have to be things like the Chancellor Rachel Reeves crying on camera in the chamber, knowing that the Labour government is falling and they're not able to actually achieve what they wanted to set out in government. The fact that they weren't able to even make very small changes like the £5 billion cut to welfare reform, I think is real proof that actually they don't really have that kind of straight and narrow direction that I think every government should have. My best political moment this year from 2025 has actually been over in South America, in Argentina. So we've seen Javier Milei, the president of Argentina, win landslide victory in the midterm elections this year. And I think the reason why this is so interesting is because he went in with very, very radical, slashing the size of the state, lowering taxes, and inflation's gone down. The economy has done so much better than it had previously done. And I think that it's a really important lesson that actually free market economics, sound ideas can win elections. I think Reform should take a leaf out of Javier Milei's book.
But what about the Labour Party, Stephen? Should they take a leaf out of Argentina's new government?
I'm sorry. I normally agree with Reem, but I have to say Milei's been an absolute disaster. Inflation's gone through the roof. They've just had a $49 billion loan from America to actually prop them up. The country is in chaos.
That's untrue. Inflation has actually been reduced. It's gone down to about 33%.
Yeah, it was over 100%.
It was over 100%, and now it's gone down to about 33%.
Let the octogenarian in the corner just chip in. He wants to come back at you, Reem.
The reason why he won the midterm elections this year, or in 2025, is because, very specifically, he has done a very, very good job on the economy. And I think, quite frankly, what it is proof of is that when a politician comes into government and says, things are really bad.
Yes,
this country is struggling. Let's be honest here. Things are really bad. We're going to have to cut spending. We're going to have to cut
Let's
taxes.
come back to Stephen, though, Reem. You've had your 10 pence worth, but Stephen, surely there should have been a honeymoon period for about a year to 18 months for the Labour government and Sir Keir Starmer, but there hasn't.
Well, you'd kind of hope that there would be, and I agree. And after 14 years, of the previous government, there's an awful lot of tidying up to be done, an awful lot of work to be done. And to a certain extent, we didn't hit the ground running, no question about that.
Have we made it worse?
Yeah. No, of course we haven't made it worse. We steadied the ship, Lee. Come on, we steadied the ship. This country, look, if you look at the FTSE, you look at the pound against the dollar. I'm sorry. With the exception of unemployment, most of the economic indicators are actually very, very good in this country.
Things have gotten so much worse.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
So much worse.
In what area?
In absolutely every area. Let's talk about the economy specifically.
Go
the size of the state is absolutely enormous. We saw tax rises again this year when the government promised we would not see further tax rises. Lo and behold, this is what you get with this kind of government. More tax increases, lower public spending is what we need. And fundamentally, what the government have done is turned this country from bad to worse.
Well, I'm sorry. If you actually have a look at where the state of the country was in before 2024, we are immeasurably better than that. We've actually got GDP growth. We've actually got
0.1%.
Yeah.
You know the economy contracted.
Growth, Reem.
The economy literally contracted. We reduced, we shrank by 0.1%. It is completely untrue. And by the way, I think most people listening to this programme will know and understand that there are no jobs available, that the economy is shrinking, that actually for everyday people across this country, it is extraordinarily difficult to get up and go to work when you can see your neighbours on benefits literally raking in £40,000 a year for doing nothing.
Well, hang on a second. So, how can it possibly be difficult to go to work because your neighbour's lying in bed or stinking in their pit all day? If my neighbour was doing that, I wouldn't lower myself to their standard. I'd get out and do a good graft and say, look at me, this is how to do it. I'm not going to sink.
Unfortunately, lots of people have lost motivation because about one in four...
You don't lose motivation because somebody next to you is an idle so-and-so.
Well, how about we stop people from being idle so-and-sos and actually say when we're in a situation where 1 in 4 working-age people are out of work, we actually have to take a step back and say, you know what, we shouldn't be forcing millions of hard-working taxpayers across the country to pay for it.
Exactly.
Hang on a second. Look, we talk about these idle sods, stinking in their pits all day. This is what West Streeting is doing. The number of people who are actually on PIP and who are on benefits, and that is ridiculous. We have to actually bring that amount down. So at the moment, we're going to have more people out of work than more people in work.
But more people are now out of work as a result of this government. The increase in employers' national insurance, that is true.
I'm sorry, more people are out of work because under the previous government, as you know... Look, come on, hang on a second, Lee. Let's hear me out on this one. We had these personal improvement programmes, what's PIP stand for?
Personal independence.
Personal independence.
You should know, Stephen, you're probably on it. He is, he's on it. We know he is. You can tell.
For his autism.
Listen, have some respect for a pensioner, please. Look, the reality is, when they're doing face-to-face interviews, there's a far, far lower uptake. Now they're doing them online. So many people are just gaming the system. As we all know, people have used that expression.
Yeah, and this government instead of reducing the size of the welfare state, they have actually increased public spending on it.
By 15 billion quid.
Exactly. It's abysmal. And you know what, can I just say, this isn't just about those people that are benefit scroungers, those people that are not going to work. I really do think it's an enormous waste of human potential.
It is.
There are millions of hard-working young people that actually are very intelligent, that are very interesting,
I agree, Reem.
have so much to contribute.
I always say
that are consigned to a lifetime of
there is
worklessness.
talent on every street in this in this country.
No one is consigned in that. No, you to be consigned. People have got some independent strength and power themselves. It's not just a question of being consigned. You can get a job if you work hard enough.
Unfortunately, the jobs actually don't exist. I mean, as a result of this government,
they do exist.
We saw a reduction in the amount of vacancies by about 700,000 in
What
the
about the
3 months before
hospitality industry,
September.
Stephen? Over 100,000 jobs lost since this awful Labour government came to power 18 months ago in hospitality. And normally these jobs are starter jobs for young people coming out of university or college or school, whatever.
Well, hang on a second. You know, the pub that we're in at the moment had their best ever Christmas this year. Their best ever Christmas.
And why do you think that is, Stephen?
Because it's a damn good pub.
Because there's not many pubs left.
Hang on, there's a new pub just opened down the... I've just moved house, and oddly enough, they've opened a pub 2 doors down from me.
I believe almost half of pubs in Britain since 1980 have now closed down.
Yeah.
Well,
That's insane.
Look, hang on a second. We've got, the smoking ban, we've got the drink driving ban. There's a whole
totally,
range of
those things
But
absolutely have an impact.
Tell me, has there ever been a golden age for British hospitality? Has there ever been a time when the government was 100% behind British hospitality?
1980s, I would say Margaret Thatcher, bring her back.
Whoa, Stephen, there's one for you.
I don't think... Was that the golden age of hospitality?
I
Pubs
think
were closing in 1980.
It was a situation in which we saw more and more people going to work and more people being able to have the money to spend on luxuries. Now, the problem is when it comes to jobs in the hospitality sector, the government increased employers' NI, so literally introduced an increase in the jobs tax, which makes it more expensive for employers to employ anybody. The increase in the minimum wage, surprise, surprise, doesn't mean that businesses magically get more money. The money comes from somewhere, usually with less jobs. And the impending employment rights bill, which is going to be an absolute train wreck.
Let's just chuck the business rates in there as well.
Yes, absolutely.
But let us not forget that in 1980, Margaret Thatcher came with the economy was on the rise thanks to the careful stewardship of Jim Callaghan and the Labour government.
That's completely untrue. I don't think anybody that remembers 1979 views the winter of discontent as...
You weren't even born then, Reem. I can remember that.
No.
I can remember. And Stephen can definitely remember because he was in his mid-50s then, weren't you?
No, I was born in 2002.
But Stephen, seriously, guys, any high points for this Labour government since they came into power?
Well, I think to a certain extent, if you look at what...
You talk about steadying the ship, because we hear this nonsense every day, but it's nonsense.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'd like to think that particularly the one real high point is the way Wes Streeting's actually grasped the nettle of the problem with the NHS and the fact that, we've now got more and more appointments, more and more doctors.
No, we don't.
We do.
They introduced a £20 million cash injection, which has done nothing. The NHS is a bureaucratic black hole that we continue to funnel more and more taxpayer money into.
I don't want to mix the metaphors here, but you can't have a black hole and a nettle, and he's grasping the nettle of the problem with the NHS.
He's not, he's just throwing more money at it.
The high point for this year for the Labour Party is we've actually accepting with the realisation, the reality of what the economy is, and we're actually getting to grips with it.
They're saying they want growth. They're saying they want an economy that is actually growing and people have more jobs, and yet they are doing the exact opposite. So Stephen's right, the language is there, the rhetoric is there, but the actions are in complete antithesis to what will actually achieve economic growth. So quite frankly, I don't believe this government. I didn't believe the last government. I don't really trust any government. That's why I'm a libertarian. I believe that all politicians are liars, no offence. And I also think that we should not trust anybody that says that they know what they're doing when it comes to this government, because quite frankly, the British people have had enough. We've had enough of being taxed. This government, we're going to see in this parliament the highest tax burden in British history. We've had enough.
We've had enough, Stephen, says Reem. It's okay for the pensioner in the corner. He's done his bit for society, or so he says. But he's laying his allotment order,
don't forget, I'm from the luckiest generation that's ever lived. The generation, we've not had to go to war. The first generation has not had a war. We've got the triple lock pension. We're in a very strong position. But that doesn't stop me weeping for my nation, for my country. I actually care and I love this country and I want to see it grow. And I have to say that the Labour Party long-term plan for this country is one of growth and expanding the size of the state and actually having
the state?
Yeah, to actually look after people.
To expand, who's going to pay for it? Who's going to pay for it? Every single person I know that's young is leaving the country. That all young people go to Dubai.
The problem we have in this country, more than anything else, is productivity. The French and the Italians have better productivity than that. We've got to grow the size of the cake so that more people can get a slice of it.
And this government have done everything they can to stop that from happening.
Why would they do that? Why?
Because of the politics of it, they want to increase...
Are you saying that they don't want growth?
They want to increase
Are you saying that the
spending?
Labour government wants to talk the country down?
I think they have, and I think that's what they've done. It doesn't matter if it's what they want to do, it's what they have done.
That's delusional.
Guys, I'm going to call it to a close there. Stephen's getting very excited. I'm thinking about his age and his health. We've got to cut it there. Hey, Stephen, just calm it down. Just take your tablets. We know you're back on them. Anyway, coming up next, we've got fitness expert, lifestyle coach, Annette Kello.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
Every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
Westminster, the ultimate clique.
And you're fighting like rats in a sack.
But here on the Camilla Tominey Show, we ask the questions the establishment media is too scared to ask.
OK, let me ask you a straight question, because I know you're a straight-talking politician.
Whether it's net zero, illegal immigration or law and order, nothing is off limits.
You had the power then.
Yeah, as I
and
say,
now you've lost it.
That's the Camilla Tominey Show, a politics show that's fearless.
But no, let me finish my question if you don't mind, because it is my show.
Sundays at 9:30, only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
In the GB Newsroom, we bring you the news as it happens.
With our team of dedicated journalists across the UK,
we're ready to keep you up to date with what's happening every half an hour, every single day. Bulletins here on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel.
Welcome back. It's time for Real World, Real People, and I've got lifestyle expert Annette Keller. Well, it says lifestyle expert on our papers, but you're also a journalist, Annette, is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
The reason we've got you on tonight is because it's a new year, and people will have made all sorts of New Year's resolutions for their health, their fitness, their lifestyle, and we're bringing you on the show to give us some tips how to stick to our New Year's resolutions, like cutting down on the beer. What do we do?
Yeah, well, it's really interesting you say that, because I think when we're looking at New Year and changes, we can sometimes become a little bit overloaded with ideas. And one thing that's really interesting is how do you do a habit and stick to it? So, for example, one big thing we often see is everyone joins the gym and they have these discounts and they go, yeah, and then they go for maybe a week or two. Then they're stuck and they're paying money, they feel guilty, doesn't work. So I think it's all about implementing healthy habits on a daily basis. Now, we have something which is called an ultradian rhythm.
Oh,
do you know what that is? Ultradian rhythm.
No idea.
Okay, well, it's, in layman's terms, it's every 90 minutes or so you should move your body, basically.
Is that all?
Well,
just every 90 minutes, so you can just lie on the settee all day and just watch TV.
When I say move your body, I mean... No, no,
okay,
I'm joking. No, so get up, do a bit of pacing, get your blood... And this is really simple thing. Every 90 minutes, just get up, walk around, pace. The other thing is instead of, like, pushing yourself to go out and do exercise, it's really cold, a lot of people don't feel like it, so just do things in your house that are really easy. Now, I've got some weights now, but before I had weights, I just used to use bottles of water in my house, and because I'm a busy mum, I don't have time to necessarily always book in a class or go to the gym, so just do it in your house. I mean, I don't know if you do that. No, OK, but you're going to now, aren't you?
I do tend to move every 90 minutes or there or thereabouts. But, yeah, there will be people trying to cut back on the booze. But I guess the big one is losing weight. How do you stick to that? Because that's difficult.
Yeah, well, I think there's two ways you can do that that are able to implement into your life. And the first one, I would say, is find something you enjoy. Now, even walking burns off a load of calories. Like, I don't know if you look on your phone to see how many steps you've done.
I do.
Even that burns off calories. So it's not about overloading yourself. And the other thing is to find community, because I think we often lose this. We think activity is a solo thing where you have to go and do it on your own, and you can sort of feel guilty about what you are not achieving. So finding people that may be into the same stuff as you is really, really important, because you can sort of, you know, and there's things like groups on Nextdoor, website, which a lot of people have, so you can find free things as well, because I think it's important to talk about the cost of living crisis. A lot of people may find a gym membership or something really expensive to have at the moment, so it's about doing free stuff where maybe you can meet people and also exercise and things.
You're right there, because we've never had so many gyms, yet we've never had so many obese people in this country.
And if you look back at the 1950s, there were 0 gyms and very tiny people, which is interesting. I think food plays a part in it.
Well, a bit of rationing still going off in the 1950s as well.
Exactly. You're only having, you know, two little slices of bacon a week. That's it. I think as well the whole thing with delivery and people.
Now you're talking. The Deliveroos and all these apps you've got on your phones, you can just sit there, scoffing your night away, watching some mindless film on TV, drinking booze, on your app, takeaway to the door, packing the pounds on.
And also they use cheap materials, like cheap ingredients, that it's not food that's necessarily good for you. Even if it's classified as something that's quite good, they often put sauces in and things that are just really bad for you. So I think it's about trying. I know people have a lot of time poor these days, but trying to make things from scratch. And actually it can work out a lot cheaper. There are certain places.
So we're talking about having good habits in the new year. How does a habit become a habit?
Well, have you heard of the 3-3-3 method?
Funnily enough, no.
OK, well, the 3-3-3 method is you start 3 days with a habit and you say, and don't say I'm going to completely cut something out, because it's just, you're not going to do it, OK? So you would say, I am going to, for 3 days, add some fruit into my diet or something. Something really achievable, not I'm going to cut out all sugar, dairy, coffee, because no. And then once you've synchronized 3 days, your brain sort of releases something which classifies it as a habit. And then you've now got to get to 3 weeks. And it's really easy to do once you've done those 3 days. And once you get to the 3 weeks, if you can, then you'll easily be able to do 3 months. So it's about the 3-3-3 habit. So try and do it for 3 days. And that's really easy to do 3 days, I feel.
So there's introducing fruit to your diet. Anything else? for lifestyle changes on the 3-day challenge?
Well, I think as well, it's important to talk about mental health as
Yeah.
well. You know, exercise isn't just good for your body. It's about, so a lot of people, their New Year thing might not just be about eating healthy. It's also about feeling good, doing things that make you feel good, having that community, talking to people if you haven't spoken to people, if you feel isolated. So keeping in check with your mental health is just as important.
Okay, so there's going to be some people do these little challenges through January, Annette, but some will fail. Well, a lot will fail. And then they will say to themselves they are failures, they feel like failures. Can they pick themselves up and go again?
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, there's nobody behind you with a big bad stick saying, I'm going to get you. And if you do not do these things, it's absolutely fine. You know, you can keep going. And then obviously when we get into spring, some people might be saying, oh, well, I want to get healthy because, you know, I'm going on holiday, or perhaps they want to just be outside naturally. So there's ways to do it that way. I don't think people should beat themselves up. I mean, obviously we're sitting here with a pint. So some people might want to do dry January.
See, I'm thinking about starting the old press-ups again in the new year. So I think I might do the 3-day challenge on the press-up. See if I can do 3 over 3 days. Do you think that?
Yeah, that's achievable. Literally, you know, we were talking about the 90-minute thing.
Yeah.
When you get up in your 90 minutes, so, you know, wherever you are, maybe not on the tube, I don't know how that would go down, but you could do a few
But
press-ups.
sometimes it's hard to motivate people. I did see a video a few years back of a American Marine or soldier, some sort of high-ranking American chap, and he said, the first thing you need to do every morning when you get up is make your bed.
Oh, yeah.
And if you do that, and do that every single morning, then the rest of the day drops into place. You just do stuff what you should do. It's being organised, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I've heard of that. And there's also this thing called the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like if you're lying in bed when you wake up, often you can be like, oh my God, I've got so much to do today. I've got to do this, I don't. And then you often don't achieve it because you feel like, oh, it's too much. But if you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm not going to lie in bed thinking about it.
And our 8 or 9 minutes are up now. It's been great. Fantastic.
Thank you.
That's Annette. But coming up
Happy New
next,
Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. Coming up next, we've got Stephen Pound and Reem Ibrahim on Right versus Left. It's going to be a feisty one.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to your latest GB News weather update brought to you from the Met Office. A very cold weekend to come. Further snow and ice is expected, but for many inland areas it should remain fairly dry and bright. We've got a cold Arctic air mass across the UK. This bitterly cold northerly wind will be pushing across the UK through much of this weekend, and it will push through snow showers most frequently across northern areas of Scotland. That's why we've got that amber warning in force. It's especially over highest ground where we could see up to around 40 centimetres accumulating through this weekend. But coastal areas as well, seeing a risk of snow and ice. And inland, although it will be dry, there is going to be a widespread sharp frost by Saturday morning. So a cold but crisp start to the day for many inland areas. But for Scotland, there's further snow showers to come through Saturday. There's a risk of drifting and blowing snow, which brings a particular risk to those driving. We'll also see some snow showers across parts of Northern Ireland as well as Wales down into the southwest. They could be more sleety in nature, but certainly they will have a wintry feel. And across eastern areas of northern England, that's where we could see some further sleet and snow. The most likely to see accumulations over the highest ground, over the North York Moors, for example. But once again, inland areas will remain largely dry and bright throughout Saturday. A cold day, though. You will notice that chilly feel once again. Some areas not going to reach above 0 degrees by day, so definitely a day to wrap up nice and warm. And we'll see further snow showers across northwestern areas into Sunday. Actually, it's going to be a drier day across the east on Sunday, but another very cold night on Saturday night, and therefore a very cold day throughout Sunday as well. We could see some more snow moving into the southwest once again, so further cold weather to come next week, and into Tuesday we could see some more potentially widespread snow.
You want to know what's really going on in the corridors of power? Labour don't know what to do with you half the time, and that makes you quite lethal in the chamber. Get behind the headlines with Chopper's Political Podcast. Join me, Christopher Hope, as I sit down with the great and the good of British politics. We'll see where this ruling takes us. These are the stories shaping our nation. Chopper's Political Podcast, available now on all platforms. Listen in and stay ahead.
Decisions made in Washington aren't just shaping America, they're shaping Britain too. From migration to global security, from crime to health. Whatever happens in the White House today
will be felt in your town or city tomorrow.
That's why The Late Show is live from Washington, D.C.
Cutting through the politics to show you what it all means for Britain.
The Late Show live every night at midnight.
Only on GB News,
Britain's news channel.
It's time for Right versus Left. We've got Reem Ibrahim and Stephen Pound back on the panel today. It's been a bit of a feisty affair so far today, but Stephen's just been telling us in the break about your parsnips. You've had trouble with your parsnips.
Well, it is a bit difficult. I mean, I don't know how much you're familiar with, but normally I go for length, because I do actually like, a fairly long...
Length over girth.
Precisely so. But this year, for some reason, my parsnips have been really stumpy. And so, of course, I'm from London, you may have guessed that.
Yeah.
And so, I put a lot of sand...
So if you're living in the London area and watching this, beware of stumpy parsnips. That's all I've got to say. Steve, we'll move away from this, shall we? Let's get back to the serious stuff.
Parsnips are very close to my heart.
Okay, let's get back to the serious stuff, guys. Let's talk about 2026. It's a new year. Yeah. What does this year... What's it going to be like, Stephen, for the Labour government?
It's going to be tough. Let's not pretend otherwise. It's going to be very, very difficult because we're going to see the rise of alternatives. We're no longer in the old duality, the idea of Conservatives and Labour. We've now got 6 parties. The big one for us is May. In May, we have the local government elections. We have elections in London.
Oh, it's just the go-ahead.
Yeah, the ones that haven't been cancelled.
Yeah. Well, hang on a sec. Let's talk about the ones that are going to go ahead. It's going to in Scotland, where Labour could get a kicking. I sincerely hope they don't, because we have Anna Sowell is a very, very good leader up there.
What?
Yeah, 100%. That damn sight better than the SNP.
Let me have a smell of that, mate. Yeah. Oh, my. Somebody's put vodka in this.
But if we look at what's happening in Wales, so the idea that the Labour Party, which was a national party, we could end up talking about London, not forget Birmingham, forget the North East, Manchester and Liverpool. And so the 2026 is going to be very, very difficult for us. Hopefully, we can actually get the message back and see some growth and emerging to actually give people a little bit of hope for the future.
I don't think we're going to see that. I think things are going to be utterly abysmal for this Labour government over 2026. And part of it is we're going to see continued decline. So what we saw is the Conservatives managed the highest tax burden in 70 years. The Labour government then took over and made it even worse and are now managing the highest tax burden in British history. And we're currently seeing public spending go up to almost 50% of GDP. That means the government is increasing, and so taxes are going to go up. We're going to see tax rises again next year, by the way, and the year after, and the year after, and the year after, and the year after, until somebody decides finally that we need to reduce the size of the state and cut spending. So I think things are going to continue to go from bad to worse for this government. And I think part of it is what Stephen's just said is really interesting, because we do see multiple parties like Reform now doing particularly well. So what I think is going to be particularly exciting for 2026 is seeing the entire country, people in Great Britain, stand up and say we've had enough, and actually we want change, we want something different, we want this country, this great, fantastic, beautiful Great Britain to do better, and we are not going to sit by and let it get from bad to worse.
But of course, Stephen, people thought there was getting change with the new Labour government 18 months ago, and they certainly have had change.
Well, you certainly got change. We've gone from chaos to stability.
How'd you say that with a straight face?
But hang on a second. Look, I think the point, Reem's making an incredibly important point here. We actually have to look at the spectrum now of politics. Look at the rise of the Greens, and I think they are snake oil salesmen. I have to say, we really got Zach Polanski promising the world. You get every single person. Well, hang on, no. Communism is actually rather stricter and more stronger and more logical than what Polanski is. Polanski said any single immigrant who's on the beach at Calais can come over here. Every single one.
Well, hold on a minute. The Labour Party was doing this 10 years ago, going to the Dunkirk camps and feeding and clothing and watering them and encouraging people
the Labour
to come
Party,
over.
Individuals, I mean, maybe Jeremy Corbyn might have done that.
Yeah, your old mocker.
Certainly, the Labour Party never ever had a policy about going to Calais and giving people, sausage, egg and chips. We never did that.
But they did do that, Stephen.
No.
The local Labour group in Ashfield was doing that.
Well, if things, I mean, during the miners' strike, the Labour Party and Green, for my part, we used to raise money for Selby main coalfield. You know, people do that because we're a caring, decent party. We care for people.
But don't care about the British people.
Of course we care about the British
This is
people.
what really annoys me about the left, by the way, Lee. We always talk about we're the caring people, we're the compassionate people.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I think that I am absolutely sick and tired of this argument. Lots of people on the right, of course, many people that are looking at the current situation saying, you know what, I don't want to see somebody sexually assaulting young girls. I don't want to see people coming to this country and doing terrible things.
Who the hell does want to see that?
But this is the point. What mass
Are you
migration
saying that the Labour
has done
Party
is
wants to see people assaulting young girls?
What I am saying is
that is
they have,
outrageous.
No, they don't want that.
I'm sorry,
What
that's
they have
disgusting.
Said, Stephen, what they have done is they've enabled the very people that have allowed those people to come to this country. Unfortunately...
4.2 million under Boris Johnson, and that was the Labour Party's fault. Boris Johnson was not a Labour...
It's people across, but this is the point is you're saying we're the compassionate ones, and I'm here to say that that's absolutely not the case. Compassion comes from people caring about other people.
You're jumping all over the place here. You're accusing us of being facilitating paederasts.
No, I'm not accusing you specifically, Stephen.
No.
What I am saying is that this government and the last have enabled many people to come to this country, and we have no idea who they are. And look, it makes people angry that people from different countries have come here and assaulted young girls. I am very upset about it. I know many people across this country.
Well, I'm upset. Can I just ask you both a question? And this is not the yes/no quiz, by the way. Disclaimer. Would it be fair to assume that some of these men coming over on small boats who commit these awful crimes are coming from backward cultures, Stephen?
I'm not happy with the expression backward cultures.
OK, stoning women to death, you know, mutilation of the genitals, stuff like that, marrying children. Is that not backward?
It's reprehensible and it's disgusting.
Is it backward?
I'm not sure about backward is the word I use. I'm not arguing about semantics here, Lee.
Well, you are.
I'm sorry, I'm not. What I'm saying is that there are people who have different attitudes, particularly to women. Particularly to women. And how the hell do we...
So why do we let them in,
how do we filter
Why do we let them in?
Sorry, Lee, how do we filter that out?
You filter all of them.
I'll tell you exactly how. So I'm actually very pro-immigration. The problem is what this government have done, what all governments have done, is they've said, OK, when you come here, you can get a taxpayer-funded hotel, you can get a taxpayer-funded driving lesson, free this, free that.
Limited.
But what this does is it acts as a magnet for those people. So how would I filter these people out? I would say, if you've got a job, you can come. If you don't have a job, you cannot come.
But come legally.
But that's it. It's legal migration.
Yeah.
If you come to this country legally and you have a job offer, then you're more than welcome to come. I think Dubai, the UAE, have done an absolutely fantastic job where they've said, look, any Brit that comes to Dubai will never, ever be entitled to citizenship, let alone any kind of benefits. But the UAE say, if you want to come to Dubai, but you pay your own way. That is how you filter people out.
You can have citizenship if you have $500,000, so don't forget.
Exactly. If you're extraordinarily wealthy.
So you got
why can't we do that? Why can't we in the United Kingdom say, $500,000 and you can come and buy a visa?
In this season of goodwill, let's actually look at, maybe a woman from Iran who's seeking refuge in this country, somebody from Afghanistan.
If they're coming from France, which is a safe country, then there is no need for them to then...
I have to say, the French are now pushing back because the French now realise that the old argument about just let them come across this channel doesn't work because it's the draw factor. So they're now pushing back. There's going to be huge changes now because, frankly, the immigration system in Europe has been pushed to breaking point.
Another feisty affair there, guys. We need to calm it down a little bit. I'm a little bit worried for Steve's health and well-being here. He's shaking as he drinks his beer. But we're going to move on to the yes or no quiz. Oh, Lord. Stephen, you've not been very good at this, have you? It's not a question. Right, let's go for it. Nearly got it. Nearly caught him out again. Then, number one, Stephen, has 2025 been a good year for the government?
No.
Oh. No. Number two, Reem, will 2026 be a good year for the Labour government?
No.
Stephen?
Yes.
And should El Fattah, this Egyptian nuisance, who hates everybody, be deported, Reem?
Yes.
Stephen?
Yes.
Wow, agreement. Number four, Stephen, will Starmer last this full Parliament?
Yes.
And Reem?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's 4-4, going into the fifth and final question. Should Stephen Pound, Reem, stop talking about the size of his parsnips?
No.
And join Reform?
Yes.
Yes. So, Stephen? got to have that. Is making verbal tics, choking noises. So that's a cross for Stephen. So Reem, you are the winner once again.
Thank you very
well
much.
done on that
Thank
one.
you.
Do you want to come back on one? You said Stormont will last the full Parliament, Stephen.
Of course. So, is this yes, no?
No.
Yes?
No. No. I'm asking you a question now.
OK.
You've lost the quiz, so it doesn't matter.
Look, the Labour Party has never, ever thrown one of its leaders under the bus. The Tories do it every couple of weeks. We've never, ever done it. We're not going to chuck him under the bus. We're just not going to do it. He's got a big majority at the present time. It may be built on sand.
But he's throwing his backbenchers under the bus and the country under the bus.
So, like who?
All of them.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, yeah, Marcus Campbell Savers is about, I think, the only one who's actually got the whip removed at the present time. But look,
and what did he get the whip removed for, Stephen?
Inheritance tax on farms.
Oh, right. And what's the latest policy on inheritance tax on farms?
It has been recalibrated.
Recalibrated? Clever words. I'll let Reem come in on that one.
Well, they've U-turned on obviously on the inheritance tax. I mean, it's still abysmal. I think inheritance tax should be abolished completely. It is absolutely a death tax. Let's call it what it is. Part of the interesting parts of this is you've said that, OK, 2025 has been a bad year for the Labour government, but things are going to get better because things can only get better under a Labour government.
Can you sing that song, Stephen?
Things can only get better.
What a great voice.
Yeah, things are not going to get better, I'll tell you that. You know why? You know how I can predict that things are not going to get better? Because they didn't get better in 2025. So an intelligent person can look at 2026 and think, things are going to remain the same, which is managed decline. The problem is that nobody has any guts to do what needs to be done to save Great Britain. Yeah. And I think it's really important. And you know what? GB News has been a fantastic channel for actually taking a lot of these ideas and propagating it. And I think that people in this country are waking up. People are saying, you know what? Things are pretty bad. And it's not just bad because of the war in Ukraine.
That point, Reem, you said people are waking up, and the good news is Stephen's actually stayed awake through the whole show tonight. Another cracking debate, but I'm sorry, Stephen, you lost once again in the yes or no quiz. It comes as no surprise.
Like a kipper.
I just want to wish you both a very happy New Year and come back
to you,
mate.
Happy New Year.
And you, Reem.
Happy New Year.
Coming up next, we've got...
to all your millions of viewers.
Coming up next, we've got former top cop Peter Bleksley. You're going to love him.
Yeah. QPR supporter.
Can't wait to get in that sea.
Lovely and warm.
Just like the feeling of having great travel insurance.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
Oh no, not quite as cold as the UK. It is still rather unsettled at the moment across the Mediterranean. Storm Francis is bringing rather wet and windy conditions to the Canary Isles, Madeira and even mainland areas of Iberia. Further towards the east, we have further heavy rain and mountain snow that's going to be building across the Balkan region as we head into Saturday as well. These generally unsettled conditions are quite likely to continue as we head throughout the weekend and into next week.
All Clear Travel Insurance sponsors GB News Travel Destinations Forecast.
No matter the state it's in, this is our nation. Join me, Jacob Rees-Mogg, for a genuine, honest discussion on where we have been, where we are going, and where we are with the people who set the direction. Tune in to State of the Nation every Monday to Thursday, 8 to 9 o'clock. Only on GB News.
Exciting news. Every Friday, my Patrick Christie's Tonight Show is going to have a twist to it. We're welcoming some special guests. You. That's right, on Fridays, I'm going to be doing my show in front of a live studio audience because this show is about you and what you have to say. It's going to be the same big debates, same big topics, same big opinions. But every Friday night at 9 p.m, you are invited to come on down to Patrick Christie's Tonight to be a part of the action. Only on GB News, the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
Because
the failure is...
You're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Mornings don't have to be tiresome, especially if you have the right company.
Wake up to news as it happens, opinion and debate, and of course, a little bit of entertainment too.
Because when the kettle's on, we're on.
That's Breakfast on GB News, a show worth waking up for.
every morning from 6 a.m.
Only on the People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
We'll spread the news, you spread the word.
From the school run to the home run, watch a new show for all of Britain.
He can say whatever he wants.
A straight talking show where all voices are heard.
And, you know, when are we going to stop talking about smashing the gangs and actually do it?
With the stories that matter from every part of our country.
There's a bit of a crash landing there for your Chancellor.
Bold, fearless and standing up for you. That's me, Martin Daubney, 3 p.m. till 6 p.m, weekdays, here only on GB News. The People's Channel, Britain's news channel.
Britain was once the envy of the world. But look around. A nation that no longer knows what it is or where it's going. A country that's broken. How do we fix Britain? How do we bring it back? Friday night with Matt Goodwin at 8 p.m, only on GB News.
Britain deserves a newsroom that puts the facts and your voice first.
Well, and that's what you get on GB News. Lively debates, lively conversation.
And we're not afraid to hold power to account.
And each other. So join me, Andrew Pearce.
And me, Miriam Gates, for Britain's Newsroom, weekdays from 9:30 on GB News.
Sounds like last orders at the bar. And we've got Peter Bleksley, former Met detective, firm favourite of the show as well. Thanks for coming, Peter. But
thank you for having me.
Tonight on the show, some more straight talking. But we're going to talk about this, Makings of a Murderer, and your new national tour, which starts in January.
Yes,
this month.
The 8th of January.
Wow.
At the Churchill Theatre in Bromley. What a great name for a theatre, the Churchill, eh?
The Churchill, yeah.
Yeah, so very much looking forward to kicking off the tour there. It's a huge tour. I'm doing 140 dates, the length and breadth of the country. And, yeah, it's going to be quite an undertaking, but I'm looking forward to it.
So what sort of things are you going to be chatting about when you sat on that stage in your chair?
OK, I won't be sitting down.
No sitting.
There'll be plenty of energy.
Energy.
As I have to recreate some of the situations that I had when I was a detective and an undercover detective.
Yeah.
Because I worked undercover for 10 years and had some pretty lunatic experiences doing that.
Yeah.
But also murders that I solved.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the first half of the show. Then there's a break. And in the second half of the show, for over 20 years, I've been fascinated and have been trying to move forward a case, which was the unsolved murder of a man called Alistair Wilson. He was gunned down on his front doorstep in Nairn, which is in the Scottish Highlands, in November 2004. The case is still stubbornly unsolved. The police don't have all the secrets. I've moved the case forward quite a bit, and I would imagine outside of the police inquiry, I know more about this case than anybody. And I'm hoping that by revealing so much of the strange kind of intricacies of this case, that I'll be able to move it forward, engage the audience in what do they think, what's their theory, do they know anything?
Do they know anything?
Exactly.
You know, of course, when you're solving real-life crimes and murders and stuff like this, Peter, it's a little bit different to watching these programmes on... I know you mentioned it before, you know, some of these people watch 3 episodes of Vera and think they're a top cop. It's a little bit different, isn't it? It
is, but I want the armchair detective in people to come out during the second part of the show.
Yeah.
Because the gun was very unusual that was used. An envelope was handed over by the gunman and then clearly taken from the scene.
Yeah.
And many other aspects to Alistair's life which have puzzled people, which have caused loads of gossip and acres of news coverage, hours of radio and TV time. But I want people to listen to the intricate details and then tell me what they think. And let's see if somebody out there has got the answer that can move the case forward.
So what has been the most satisfying case you've solved in your long, illustrious career?
Well, that's a challenging question. I guess, bizarrely, a story that I talk about in the show is when myself and a colleague were hired to be assassins. So we were working undercover. And the two people...
How much did you get paid for that? What was the price?
Oh, for the assassination?
Yeah.
You'll have to come to the show and then I'll tell you that.
Okay.
I suppose the satisfaction from that is that because the people who wanted this man dead came to us, they got caught and the man didn't get killed.
Yeah.
Whereas if they'd gone somewhere else, That man may have been murdered, and they might have got away with it.
Wow, it's pretty hairy stuff. I mean, how do you act through that? Do you get training in acting?
They get undercover cops get training now, but back in my day, we just flew by the seat of our pants. And you know, you've got to know and be confident that you're a good liar, because that's what working undercover is.
Are you saying policemen are good liars?
Undercover cops are professional liars, very, very good liars. And that's the trait you've got to have, and it is acting, and it is deeply, deeply satisfying when you are up against people who have been born into criminality, born and raised as criminals, and you're alongside them, and they're convinced that I am one of them.
Well, of course, you've seen a lot of changes, Peter, over the years. And I mean, being a copper in London, in the Met, they've come in for some stick recently, and our mayor in London, he comes in for a little bit of stick, not here to defend himself, by the way. But how's coppering, how's policing changed in the capital city since you first started?
It's changed hugely, and some for the better, but regrettably not all. I think the biggest mistake that police leaders have made in the last 20, 30 years, and they will say it was out of necessity, but they've surrendered the streets. They've taken police officers away from patrolling the beat on foot, beat bobbies. And what's happened is that has had a catastrophic effect, because the streets have been surrendered to the criminals. And what have we got? Epidemic of shoplifting, epidemic of knife crime, and much more. I know they had to take cops away to investigate crimes that happen behind closed doors, more so than we did in my day. So domestic violence, sexual assault and all that kind of thing. But there should have been some balance. They should have retained an element of controlling the streets.
I mean,
and they've lost them.
I
don't know how they're going to get
back.
back.
We're going to test your next career, Peter, now, and that's pulling a pint. You got a pint pot there with a pack of lips. That's a Bradford beer, so I've been told. I don't know if you've been that far north. Have solved any crimes in Bradford.
Just to prove it's empty.
It is empty. It's not a trick. If you've got 30 seconds, I'm going to ask you, you can start pulling it now, Peter. I'm going to ask you a question. Just pretend you're having a dinner party tonight at Peter Bleksley, and you've got to invite 4 guests, past or present, fictional or real, 2 criminals and 2 coppers. Who would it be to sit round that table?
I'm not a fan of criminals. I'm really not a fan of criminals.
Into the heads.
Yeah, but I'd rather have them sat round a table in an interview room than in my kitchen, to be perfectly honest with you. So as for criminals coming, I'm not overly sure. I'm going to.
You can put that on the bar, mate, because actually that is criminal.
That
what
is
you just
dreadful.
pulled there. Put it on the bar, Peter. Now let the great British public see that.
What an embarrassment.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Terrible. Terrible. Put it on there then, mate. So come on, 2 criminals, 2 top cops from the past, present, dead or alive, fictional or real.
Criminals. I just detest criminals. You see, the thought of having one in my home is utterly abhorrent. There's many detectives that I'd have. Colin Sutton, I saw his show. He did a show last year.
I know Colin.
Very interesting man, tells great stories. I'd like to have dinner with Colin Sutton.
Yep.
The Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police, Sir Mark Rowley, I'd like to have him round our table.
No, I wouldn't.
Because I think me and Colin could tell him a few things or two. And probably
I think I did tell him a few things in the Select Committee meeting.
There you go.
It didn't go down very well at all.
There you go. You see, because, you know, sometimes you have to invite people in that you might not necessarily want in order that you can get your point over. So I'll have Colin Sutton and Sir Mark Rowley. And in terms of criminals, I'd like Kevin Powell, who is a fugitive, wanted for 2 separate murders in Liverpool, and he's never been caught, and I tried for 4 years. So I'd like him round my dinner table, as long as he was in handcuffs.
Yeah, slap the old bracelet
and shackled.
Yeah.
And seeing as we're talking to criminals, the murderer of Alistair Wilson. I'd like him, again, handcuffed, suitably guarded. I'd like those 2 to be cool. Yeah.
Oh, Peter, I think you should stick to your tour. How do we get tickets, by the way, for this?
Go to entertainers.co.uk, which is the website of the promoter, and all the dates and all the tickets are on sale there.
Well, I'll tell you what, mate, I'll be coming to see you. You're in Mansfield
in
October, so I'll be coming to see you. That's Last Orders. That's Peter Bleksley. He's going on his national tour starting, well, this month actually, January.
8th of January.
8th of January. So, you know, get on this website, book your tickets, come and see the great man in person. Peter, thanks for that.
Thank you.
But that is pathetic. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for joining me on Lee Anderson's Real World. Been another great show with some great guests. See you all next week. GB News, 7 p.m.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to your latest GB News weather update brought to you from the Met Office. A very cold weekend to come. Further snow and ice is expected, but for many inland areas it should remain fairly dry and bright. We've got a cold Arctic air mass across the UK. This bitterly cold northerly wind will be pushing across the UK through much of this weekend, and it will push through snow showers most frequently across northern areas of Scotland. That's where we've got that amber warning in force. It's especially over highest ground where we could see up to around 40 centimetres accumulating through this weekend. But coastal areas as well, seeing a risk of snow and ice. And inland, although it will be dry, there is going to be a widespread sharp frost by Saturday morning. So a cold but crisp start to the day for many inland areas. But for Scotland, there's further snow showers to come through Saturday. There's a risk of drifting and blowing snow, which brings a particular risk to those driving. We'll also see some snow showers across parts of Northern Ireland as well as Wales down into the southwest. They could be more sleety in nature, but certainly they will have a wintry feel. And across eastern areas of northern England, that's where we could see some further sleet and snow. The most likely to see accumulations over the highest ground, over the North York Moors, for example. But once again, inland areas will remain largely dry and bright throughout Saturday. A cold day, though. You will notice that chilly feel once again. Some areas not going to reach above 0 degrees by day, so definitely a day to wrap up nice and warm. And we'll see further snow showers across northwestern areas into Sunday. Actually, it's going to be a drier day across the east on Sunday, but another very cold night on Saturday night, and therefore a very cold day throughout Sunday as well. We could see some more snow moving into the southwest once again, so further cold weather to come next week, and into Tuesday we could see some more potentially widespread snow.
Expect warm spells with the odd rude interruption. Box Boiler sponsors the weather on GB News.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation, isn't it?
No,
because the failure is
you're deliberately avoiding my point. Nothing's held back.
And if you think this is the end of it, wait for more.
And we do not shy away from the difficult stuff. Sometimes I want to shake people and say, if only you understood. So join me on Jubes & Co. weeknights at 6 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
We want to make the new year your best year yet, with a chance to win our greatest cash prize to date. A simply stunning £85,000 in tax-free cash could be yours. Treat the family to that bucket list holiday you've always fancied. Get your dream car you've always wanted. Or just relax, safe in the knowledge that the coming year is on us. For another chance to win £85,000 cash, text cash to 63225. One entry costs £2.50 plus one standard network rate message. Or text bonus to 63225. 5 entries cost £5 plus one standard network rate message. Go to gbnews.com/win. Entries start at £2.50. Call 0903 686 3232. Calls cost £2.50 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and number to GB18 PO Box 8690 Derby DE1 9TT. UK only. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close at 4 p.m. on the 30th of January. Please check the closing time if listening or watching on demand. Good luck.
Bold. They are under no illusion. Ray. Are you a human trafficker? Boundless. I've had enough of the nonsense, and I'm not afraid to say it.
Don't get us on the BBC.
Every weeknight, I tear through the headlines.
The smell of gasoline. Should we be worried about it?
From Westminster madness to cultural war chaos.
What I'm going to do now is they are throwing things out the car as we speak.
Get ready, Britain. Here we go. Patrick Christie's tonight, weeknights from 9 p.m. only on GB News, Britain's news channel.
Hi, I'm Michelle Dewberry, and my show is your opportunity to cut through all the noise and dive in headfirst to some robust debates. Ideas clash.
Situation,
no.
isn't it?